In this video, we're going to cover how to conduct human coding and how to compare that human coding to the machine coding. To start, you're going to download your validation folder and extract it to your desktop. And once you're inside the validation folder, you're going to open up the validation Excel sheet and the validation corpus. So once you have them opened up, here's a few things you got to keep in mind when doing this, when doing human coding. First, it's good to know when an article starts and when an article finishes. So for example, paragraph 49 or paragraph 61 is the last paragraph before another article starts at paragraph 0. Another tip is to look at the dates. Right, so these dates represent one article, while this one represents another article. Now for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to start in line 783, but for your own validation project, you're going to start in the beginning. Right. First, another thing to keep in mind is you can ignore some lines that are not relevant to us, such as these lines. These are what we will call clutter from the website that made their way onto the corpus. We don't need them. We're only going to be focusing on the main body of the article, which is going to contain the actors and locations. So once you start reading, you're going to keep an eye out for actors. Once you find actors, it's either going to be an actor by itself, or in another case, it could be a location by itself. Right? So every line will give you either an actor, a location, or it can give you both actors and locations. Right, so once you have an actor, you're going to go to your column on your template, and you're going to paste that name onto the actor name column. And now you're going to look for other actors that may be or may not be on the same line, and you're going to copy those actors in the same line, in the same column. Now you're also going to be looking for locations. In this case, we have two actors operating in two municipalities. These two. You're going to copy them. And you're going to paste them onto the location name column. Now the idea of the text, this is where the human brain coding part comes into play. The idea is to accurately interpret what the article is trying to convey. So in this case, it's saying that two actors are active in two locations. Now we're going to reflect that on our Excel sheet template. And so we have the same actors, and since they're both operating in two locations, it means we're going to have 4 lines, because 4 times 4, 2 times 2 is 4. And so the FARC will be operating in that location, and the clan will be operating in the other location, because this is what the article is trying to convey. Right? We have these two actors operating in 2 different locations. Now, once you have that, you're going to go back to the beginning of the article, and you're going to copy the line where you got this information from. You're going to paste it. You're going to copy this too. Copy the date. Paste it in the date column. Now, to make things faster, you can position the mouse on the lower right hand corner of the cell. You can hold it, and then drag it down to the last row of the text and let it go. Same thing for paragraph names. Now, you want to make sure that these are all the same paragraph numbers, because that is where we got this information from. We got these four actors, we got these two actors and these two locations from the same paragraph. But in this case, Excel has wrongly given you or given these paragraphs different numbers. And the way to fix that is to make sure that this box on the lower right hand corner is selected for copy cells. Now we have 72, 72, 72 throughout. Now you're going to continue applying the same concepts to the rest of your corpus, and once you're done, you're going to go to your validation machine output and look for these manually coded strings, right? So you're going to copy this, you can copy the name of the paragraph name, and you can look for it. And you're going to look for this. You're going to press Control F, and you're going to get a window like this. You're going to paste the name of the paragraph. You're going to click Find All in Current Document. You're going to click on the result, double click. It's going to take you to the result, and you're going to compare what the software gave you in this case. Alright, so we're looking at the same line. So the software should have picked up two actors and two locations. Alright, so in this case, it picked up one actor and one location, when it was actually supposed to pick up, four different strings, four different combinations of actors and locations. Alright, so we're going to copy this. I'm going to copy the whole line of the text. In your Excel template, you're going to skip column E, click on column F, make sure you click inside, make sure the cursor is blinking, and you're going to paste the name of the string. Now this is going to look a little bit funny, but the way to fix it is you uncheck the wrap text option, or you double click, select format cell, and under alignment you're going to uncheck wrap text, and that's going to give you a nice single line. Now over here, since this was a match, since the human coding matched with this one, with this line, we're going to assign this a match. And since the software didn't pick this up, these are going to be false negatives. Again, you can drag this, make it more time efficient. Let me turn this into capital. Now you're gonna, after that, so after you completed the whole human coding and you compared that coding against every possible string in the machine output, you're gonna start assigning the false negatives or matches, and towards the end you're gonna include what we call false positives, which are pretty much strings that the software picked up but were irrelevant to us because either the filter didn't work or because the software picked up something that it wasn't supposed to pick up. Now you're gonna have this. In column E, when you're done, you should have a number of matches, a number of false negatives, and at the bottom of the column, you're gonna have your false positives. Now you're gonna copy these two headings. You're gonna paste them in columns E and F. Now when you click on the column, and when you see the arrow turn into a cross, You're gonna double click and you're gonna see that it extends to cover the whole string. Now you can do the same for column E. Select it, make sure you see the cross, double click, and it gets larger. Alright, so this is the concept. This is your human coding that you completed, and this is your comparison to the comparison between the human coding and the machine coding. Now, once you have that, you can start drawing numbers and percentages based on your findings. So this is what, again, it's supposed to look like. You have your human coding on one side and your machine coding on the other side. Now to draw these figures, number of matches, false positives, false negatives, and total number of items, accuracy, recall, you're going to do the following. You're going to copy this, you can type it as you see it, and then we're going to start inputting some formulas based on this sheet. Right, for the first section, which is validation, we're going to enter an equal sign followed by the word COUNTIF, open parentheses, go back to your first sheet where you have your human coding, and you're going to select column E. Once it's selected, you should see E, column E. You're going to click inside the field, add a comma, A2, close parentheses, enter, and you should have the same number. You should have a number. This is going to be your number of matches. Now, you're going to carry this formula down to the next two words, which is false positives and false negatives. Now, one thing to keep in mind is column E should be uniform. Whenever you're assigning matches or false negatives, you should do so with the same terms and the same format. So notice here it's capital M. Everything else should be in capital M, as well as the other terms, false positive, false negative. If this is not uniform, if you write different words in different ways, you're not gonna get these numbers. All right, moving on. For human coding, we're gonna use a slightly different formula, which is again start with parentheses and type count A, open parentheses. I'm sorry, you start with an equal sign, you start typing count A, open parentheses. You're gonna go to your first sheet and you're gonna select column A, close parentheses, -1, enter. That's gonna give you one number. Now for machine coding, you're going to enter an equal sign, count A, open parentheses, select column F. You simply click on the heading on the letter F. You're gonna close parentheses, -1, and that's gonna give you a number. Now for recall and accuracy, these are two basic Excel divisions. So you're gonna start with an equal sign. You're gonna select the match number over human coding. You're gonna press enter. Now for accuracy, you're gonna again do the same thing, but with different cells. So you're gonna select the number of matches, and you're gonna divide it, and with division, you insert a / as a sign of division, and then you select machine coding, press enter, and now you have numbers. Make sure that it's under the percentage. Sometimes, especially at the beginning, you're gonna have a number, right? Sometimes that's what you may get, but that's okay. You can just switch it to a percentage by clicking on the percentage sign. Right, so now you have your human coding, your comparison to the machine output,